Okay, good evening. If you've got a question, please raise your hand and we will try to get around the room with the microphone as best we can.
Ali Frank, can I check N'Golo Kante's fit to start tomorrow, and can you tell us this sequence of injuries? Does it stem from him being forced to play in the Europa League final last season when he was injured, when it was obviously such an important game to get you into this competition?
Are we translating first? Or? So first. Okay. Well, he's trained this morning and he got through training okay. He's one that we still have to assess in the morning. So we're positive that he'll be fit to play. In terms of the injury, no, it doesn't relate to that. What that injury probably did do, or the fallout off the back of that injury, regardless of whether he played that game or not, he had the injury. It meant he had a broken pre-season. So it's a slight domino effect where the main injury is now feeling good, but he's probably got a couple of niggles and different issues since that, and a tackle at Manchester United on the first game that affected him on the ankle. So there's a bit of bad luck in there as well. Everyone's working towards getting him regularly fit so he can play some continuous games, and I'm hoping that's coming really soon because we obviously need him.
Coach, quel est l'état de Kanté en ce moment? Est-ce que cette série de blessures est liée au fait qu'il a été forcé de jouer sur les matchs d'avant? Aujourd'hui, donc il a essayé aujourd'hui à l'entraînement. On va encore voir ce qui se passera demain matin après quelques essais. Et voilà, la blessure n'est pas liée à ça. Il a aussi quelques petites douleurs au niveau des chevilles. Mais bon, tout le monde se prépare sereinement pour le moment, et on verra donc bien pour Kanté par la suite.
Frank, awkward question I'm afraid. Is Ross travelling with you, and did he have permission to be in Liverpool on Sunday night?
He is travelling. He's with us. In terms of permission, I don't have to get. I don't expect permission for a day off to be in Liverpool. It's not a problem in the modern world. Liverpool, the least of my worries, that few hours to go up there and back, especially when your family's there, and it's important for people to see them. To address the issue, I think first and foremost he hasn't committed a club code, being out or 48 hours before a game, etc. The lads were given a day off on Sunday. He hasn't committed a crime, probably other than eating chips in the back of a cab, which is probably a bit out of order for the cabbie. But on a serious note, what he has probably done, from my point of view, is be naive to be out on that evening in the build-up to a Champions League game. He's admitted that as well. I'm very aware of that. And on a professional level, those are little things that shouldn't happen. But from my point of view as well, I like Ross. I've had absolutely no problem with him since I've been here. The opposite. Trains hard, wants to do well for this club. And I think really this morning he sort of admitted he made a mistake. And I'll take that one at face value. And we move on.
À propos de Ross, est-ce qu'il voyage avec vous? Est-ce qu'il fait partie donc du voyage? Et donc où sera-t-il à Liverpool dimanche? Est-ce qu'il a donc la permission? Oui, donc il voyage bien avec nous. Donc il a eu un jour de repos à Liverpool, donc c'est important. Mais voilà, il y a le fait est qu'il n'a pas suivi les codes du club. Voilà, il n'y a pas eu vraiment de crime non plus. Mais ce qu'il a fait, je pense, c'est un peu de la naïveté d'être sorti comme ça, de la sorte, avant un match de Champions League. Et à ce niveau-là, au niveau professionnel, ça ne devrait pas se produire. Ross, c'est quelqu'un qui peut apporter, il sait qu'il peut apporter à l'équipe, au club, et il sait aussi qu'il a fait une erreur.
Hi Frank. With that in mind, we've all spoken a lot about the young team and the young squad you've got, and they are young men. Is there a need maybe for you to talk about as a wider issue to the youngsters, to the responsibilities they have regarding that sort of thing? I know you said he's not committed a crime, but just to tell them as young men that they need to, their lives may have to be a little bit different to other young men?
Yeah, that is my responsibility to do, and I do it constantly, as do the staff, as do the academy, as these young men have come through the academy. Ross obviously not, but a lot of the other lads that are playing for us. And unfortunately for them, and this isn't an excuse for them, but they live in a modern day, and there are lots of benefits to them in terms of what happens with their careers, but there are also the difficulties that come with that, which is that people, I don't understand why, but people have to pick up their phone at first glance and try and video people in any moment that they think might be interesting to possibly sell or pass on. Now, that again, it isn't our problem as such. People seemingly will do that. What the lads need to do is, firstly, for their own benefit, behave in a way, whether you're a footballer or anybody, actually, I think, growing up, as these young men are. And secondly, be aware of the pitfalls. So, yeah, I think we have a very good bunch at this club. They're really good lads. I made mistakes as a player along the way, don't we all? And I've got confidence in them that they're professional lads, want to do the best for this club, and yeah, they must take on their responsibilities off the pitch.
Nous avons beaucoup parlé de la jeunesse de cette équipe, donc de l'âge de l'équipe en général. Et c'est ce qu'il n'y aurait pas là justement un problème qui est identifié. Est-ce que ça serait pas un problème plus général qui serait lié justement à leur âge et à l'âge de ce groupe? Est-ce que leur vie n'est pas aussi un peu différente de celle qu'ils ont, que la plupart des jeunes? Oui, tout à fait. C'est d'ailleurs ma responsabilité. Je le fais auprès du staff. Le staff le fait auprès d'eux et moi aussi auprès d'eux tous les jours. C'est notre responsabilité donc de les responsabiliser. Et malheureusement pour eux, ils vivent dans une ère moderne. Et il y a par conséquent des difficultés qui sont associées à cette ère. Les gens de nos jours prennent leur téléphone pour un rien, ils filment tout ce qui se passe autour d'eux, donc il faut forcément qu'ils s'adaptent et ça les impacte eux aussi en tant que joueurs. Pour leur propre bien, et on le fait pour leur propre bien en tant que joueur et en tant que personne. Voilà, c'est pas une chose de très facile, mais on le fait. Cependant, j'ai totalement confiance en mon équipe. C'est vrai que ce sont des joueurs qui globalement ont une bonne vie. Et voilà, j'ai confiance en eux et j'ai confiance en notre management.
Okay, my name is Omar Akatuba. I work with omarsports.com from Nigeria. My question is about the two young guys who have Nigerian links, Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham. First with Fikayo, he's done a fantastic job in the absence of Anthony Rudiger. He's performed very well. Do you see him retaining his spot when Anthony comes back fully? And for Tammy, he's also done very well. He started very well. How much do you see this guy growing as a young player? And the second question might be awkward, but I hope you'll be able to answer. As far as their international future is concerned, there's been a lot of talks. Some persons say he will play for England. Some persons say he will play for Nigeria. As a manager and as a legend of Chelsea, if you've ever had this kind of discussion, what have you told them? What has been your advice to these two young lads?
Okay, firstly with Tomori, I obviously worked with him last year. I have a lot of trust in him, and I think that's pretty evident because it was my choice to keep him at the club this year and not loan him out into the Premier League where he was much wanted by other clubs because I believe in him. On the Rudiger one, I don't see it as a one-for-one contest. I see it as up four very good centre-backs contesting for 2 or 3 positions. And what Tomori has done is give himself a really good start in the race from the way he's played, and now he is competing officially for one of those starting spots, which is great to see. On top of that, I'll say that he must keep working and improving because the levels he's starting to set, which he can improve on, are completely down to him now. There's a lot more to come from him. Tammy Abraham, obviously a different story slightly. He's been out on loan more. He's scored a lot of goals in the Championship. He's been given his chance this year and he's taken it really well. Scoring goals, infectious in how he trains around the group, a great personality, causing problems for defenders, even against Brighton when he didn't score at the weekend. I thought his performance was great. So again, similar to Fikayo, he's still got more to do, but showing brilliant signs this season. On their international futures, I don't feel like it's my place to tell them what to decide. I never would do with a player, because I think there is too much more that is important for them individually and their families to decide on where they want to play their football internationally. So I wouldn't feel right to step into that one unless they ask my opinion on a footballing sense, and they haven't. So that's their choice. Is that the answers for you? There's a few questions there. Thank you.
Coach, j'aimerais vous poser une question par rapport aux joueurs qui viennent du Nigeria. Donc Tomori et Abraham. Sachant que Anthony était absent, donc Tomori a pu avoir du temps de jeu, il a pu jouer bien jouer. J'aimerais aussi savoir comment vous pensez donc qu'ils vont évoluer au sein de votre équipe, et aussi j'aimerais savoir ce que vous pensez de leur futur international, sachant qu'ils pourraient jouer au Nigeria ou peut-être au UK. Quels seraient vos conseils en tant que coach? Donc en ce qui concerne Tomori, je lui fais totalement confiance. C'était mon choix de le garder avec nous et de ne pas aller ailleurs. Ce n'est pas un contest non plus, un contre un de lui, Tomori, et les joueurs qui pourraient être amenés à remplacer. Je pense qu'il a des qualités pour jouer sur divers postes, et il a montré aussi beaucoup de qualités pour jouer précisément à plusieurs postes. En ce qui concerne Abraham, c'est une histoire un petit peu différente. Il a beaucoup marqué, il a une très très grosse énergie, et c'est une énergie contagieuse qu'il arrive à transférer au reste de l'équipe. Il donne beaucoup de fil à retordre aux défenses. Mais globalement, il a fait un super début de saison, et on en est très content. Au niveau international, je ne pense pas que ce soit mon rôle de me positionner, sauf si on me le demande clairement, comme sa famille par exemple. Mais sinon, je ne me positionnerai pas.
Okay, last two, and then we need to finish. Simon and then Tony.
Hi Frank.
Simon.
You obviously played with a great goalkeeper in your playing career. How highly do you rate Kepa? What have you noticed from him since the start of the season? And have you noticed any difference in his confidence levels with the lack of clean sheets? I know you got one on Saturday, but has it affected him at all, the lack of clean sheets?
I'll start at the end there, because I think in terms of the lack of clean sheets, to get one at the weekend, the person I was most happy for was Kepa, even though it's always a team issue, because goalkeepers pride themselves on clean sheets. And one of the things I've seen in Kepa this season, since working with him, that he's a very determined, very good professional, wants to improve, goes about his work daily in a way that is very focused, and I love that for starters. In terms of confidence, his confidence shouldn't go down. The clean sheets are not always his own responsibility, and he knows that. But I also think that when there have been moments this season where he feels it may have been his responsibility, he's very open to accept that fact and work to improve. So I've been really impressed with him. He's managed to become, he's Spain's number one as of the last squad. When you think about who he's competing against at that level, then that's something very serious. He's a great age for us in terms of where he's at in his career. I thought the second half of last season, particularly, I watched a fair few games, some of the saves he was making to help Chelsea win games and get through to the Europa League final and Champions League spot. I thought he grew as the season went on. And I think he's growing again now. And I'm very, very happy with him as a player. And if anything, I can say maybe in his role and his status within the group, he can become a bit more vocal and spread that around, because I think that's what great goalkeepers do, and that's part of the process for him as well.
Just to be sure.
0 when you don't concede. When we concede, no.
Okay, yeah. I got you. Sorry. Donc, je voudrais vous poser des questions à propos de votre gardien qui justement s'efforce de progresser en ayant sans concéder de but. Est-ce que vous avez pu remarquer justement qu'il y ait des différences ces derniers temps dans son comportement? Donc le gardien en effet s'efforce à ne pas concéder de but. Il est très déterminé à progresser chaque jour. C'est vraiment dans son objectif de ne pas prendre de but. J'adore vraiment ça à propos de lui, le fait qu'il soit confiant, il prend ses responsabilités, il a accepté aussi le fait qu'il faille qu'il progresse. Et ça, pour moi, c'est très important. Il est aussi à un niveau de sa carrière où il a un bon âge. La moitié de la saison dernière, il a vraiment aidé Chelsea à grandir, donc on a pu grandir ensemble et il continue à grandir aujourd'hui. Je suis vraiment content de la personne, je suis aussi très content du joueur et son rôle qu'il apporte dans le groupe. Il pourrait bien évidemment devenir de plus en plus vocal, c'est ce qu'on attend souvent des gardiens de but.
Okay, last question.
Hi Frank. After what happened against Valencia, you need something from this game tomorrow night. I just wondered what your message to your players was going to be before they go out tomorrow night.
Something along those lines. I think we have to be honest. I thought Valencia wasn't the worst game for us. We played okay. We should have got a result, but it was a harsh lesson in switching off for a second and losing a match at this level. I think that idea ramps up even more when you travel in the Champions League and play away from home at stadiums like this against top European teams. And with Lille, they have a lot of threats to us, particularly in forward attacking areas where they have a lot of speed and a lot of quality. So it's not the be-all and end-all, as in there are 4 more games after this. We have to see it in the big picture, but as we sit here now with no points from the first game, it's a game we certainly have to be very ready for to try and pick up something. The players will be very aware of that. We can hopefully bring the confidence of the last 2 results that we've had back home to really solid wins and bring it tomorrow night, because we have to trust that if we play at our best, then we'll get the result we want.
Voilà, bon, vous connaissez votre situation. Maintenant, il va sans doute vous falloir un résultat. Donc, comment vous pouvez le décrire? Comment ça va se passer pour vous? Oui, tout à fait. On a, comme vous l'avez dit, on a besoin d'un résultat. Comme vous l'avez pu le voir, le fait de s'endormir quelques secondes, on peut rapidement perdre un match. Ça peut très vite, les situations peuvent très vite se retourner à ce niveau-là. C'est d'autant plus compliqué de jouer à l'extérieur contre de grosses équipes dans des gros stades avec beaucoup de pression. Ça s'applique évidemment pour Lille, qui est une grosse équipe et qui a beaucoup de talent, qui va nous poser sans doute pas mal de problèmes. Il faut aussi regarder tout ça dans sa globalité. En effet, il nous faut des points, il nous faut voler des points à l'extérieur tout de suite et maintenant. Voilà, nos résultats à la maison, donc dans notre championnat, nous a quand même permis de finir sur 2 grosses victoires, ce qui nous a aidé à construire de la confiance pour ce match qui arrive contre Lille.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool.
Thank you. Thanks, coach. Appreciate it.